you've reached this video to watch it. Thank you if you watched the last video on internet protocol addressing solutions. I apologize for my voice getting over very bad flu. But today we're going to go over virtual network concepts, exploring virtual networking software, um, virtual networking and network function virtualization as well. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so first we're going to go over virtual networking software, which is used to create virtual networking components. And these components are used to connect physical or virtual devices. And virtual networking software can simulate physical devices and also function the same. The only difference is that software is used for these devices. So now I'm in the network panel. I'm going to go ahead and go to Programs and turn Windows features on or off. Then I'm going to check Hyper-V, and it's going to be okay, right? Then it should give me the option to restart, so I'll place you guys on the other side of that. Okay, now everything is officially restarted. So we're going to do a bit of exploring for the Hyper-V application. Just really quickly, not too much. And the Hyper-V application in Windows can be used to virtualize network resources, and these resources include devices and switches. And what we're going to do now is explore to get a better understanding of this application. So after I click this here, then as you see, we have a couple of different options that we have on the side. I'm going to first take a look at the settings for Hyper-V. Looks like we see a couple of different things: virtual hard disk, machine, numerous settings. Looks like there's a configuration there, but I'm actually just going to get out of here. And then now I'm just going to take a look at the virtual switch manager. Looks like it's going to take a bit to load, but nonetheless, I don't want it to take too long, so I'll just get out of here. So let's actually click on virtual machine. You click here, and no, it's not good. Okay. All right, perfect. So nothing crazy here, similar to the server manager as far as doing something, naming it, and things of that nature, right? But nonetheless, I'll just close this out, close out Hyper-V all together. But yeah, that was the Hyper-V manager, and this is how, well, that's at least a snippet of the virtual networking software, at least that I wanted to cover. Now, for our next exercise, we're actually going to cover virtual networking. So it can be used to connect virtual and physical networking devices, and these devices can include servers, switches, and routers. I mentioned in the Hyper-V application we were just in, it can be used to create virtual networks, which I'll showcase in just a moment, which will connect these physical and virtual devices. So let's reopen Hyper-V again. We're going to do a bit of a deeper dive here. So take a look at our switch manager. See, let's do the longer load. All right, so now I'm going to create a virtual switch that's going to be external. All right, I'm actually going to name it as such. I'm going to set it up, so I highlighted it. Actually, I have external. I'm going to hit OK here. Don't care. But as you can see, Practice Lab External has officially populated for us here. So now I'm actually going to do it again. I'm actually going to head out of here. So it'll let me. All right. So we got the first one created. Now I'm going to click back on the virtual switch manager. Okay, perfect. And we still see that good old Practice Lab External. So I'm actually going to do another redo here. And this time I'm going to do intern. So it's going to be perfect. Gonna hit OK here. Okay. All right, as you notice, it didn't give me the pop-up from last time. So now just going to do one more. This time it's going to be private, of course. All right, perfect. And then we hit OK here. We are good to go now. A private virtual switch in Hyper-V is used to connect to the physical machine's virtual devices. And when these devices are connected with the private switch, they will only be able to communicate with each other. And now with the physical host or the physical network adapter, this type of switch can be used for something like a sandbox solution. Now we can get to network function virtualization, right? Which is the concept of deploying virtual appliances to manage and protect the network. Things like virtual load balancers, virtual firewalls, routers, switches. The appliances, they just replace the current physical hardware, thus lessening the physical hardware footprint and has a lot of advantages actually. Virtual appliance is a dynamic deployable device that is easy to configure and customize according to the network's need. Now, what we're going to do is actually install a network load balancer, which can be defined as a network function virtualization device as it doesn't require any hardware and is configured using software provided by the server OS. So what we're going to do is start off with the server manager. We're going to add some roles and features, right? I guess when the wizard's done. Oh, right, so we're gonna hit next here. Next again. Okay, that's good. That's fine. Now on this one, we're actually going to search for network load down. We're going to check that off. We're going to add those features, and then we're going to hit next, and then we should be able to install. So the install has succeeded. Now, network load balancer can distribute network traffic across different devices, right, with the same functionality on the network. For example, a load balancer will be used for multiple web servers. So what we're going to do is actually configure the network load balancer, right? So, for example, two domain controllers can be to set up to distribute the load for authentication and authorization requests on a very large network. So we're going to actually do a bit of that here. So let's go to network load balancer manager. Perfect. Right, so now that we're here, let's actually create a new cluster. There it is. All right, perfect. So now in a host text box, I'm actually going to place a good old IP here, and we're going to connect. Waiting for it to connect. And what I'm waiting for it to connect to, it should give me a list of options for like interfaces available for configuring the new cluster. Give me a few, and then I'll be able to grab onto one of those, and we can continue forward with creating our new cluster. So the connection, for some reason, has not been able to locate the network load balancer for any computer, right? So it's going to do a few things as far as configuring a forward lookup zone for the network balancing cluster that I was going to create, as well as a few other things. But and testing the connectivity to that cluster as well. But nonetheless, I can still do a brief recap since we have reached the end of the video. We looked at some virtual networking software, which is Hyper-V, and we took a look at some virtual networking. We didn't get as far as I'd like to on the network function virtualization, as far as configuring a network load balancer, configuring a forward lookup zone for that network balancing cluster we want to create, as well as testing connectivity. But nonetheless, I'll have future videos built around this, not only for normal networking, but also for cloud as well, which is a very similar concept to what we were looking to do here today with network load balancing with a typical network. But nonetheless, all in all, this is still fun, and it'll be even more fun. The next video where we go over network security concept fundamentals, which will be more fun. That's a scope that I'm looking to get into. So I'm definitely going to be more locked in on that one than I am on a bit of the others. So I'll see you there. Stay curious, stay secure.